Muslims.
Yes.
The only time I've ever had a girl here, and that was a doctor and he brought his daughter in.
All right.
The one time in so many times.
Yeah.
And look around you. Everybody's got wives and girlfriends and daughters. And
Yes.
where are they?
There are some there.
4 out of...
But is there an issue?
It is, in a
Why?
way it is, because I find that the Islamic faith a very, very misogynistic religion. It's very, very misogynistic. Men and women are equal. Men and women are equal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Why are there no women up here talking from the Islamic faith? And I've never ever seen one, not one.
Are you suggesting that because you don't see any sister talking here,
Yeah.
they're inferior?
No, I'm saying that you...
So what is? No. You are making an accusation. Now, if I were to turn this around on a personal level and ask you, okay, when was the last time you saw me being misogynistic?
I haven't.
So how have you made that accusation?
Because there's no women here.
And that's your principal reason for why...
No, I am saying that the Islamic faith is a misogynistic faith.
Right, okay, that's you're entitled to that opinion, but it doesn't make it true, does it?
Well, there's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of historical evidence.
Now, when you talk about historical evidence, I mean, look through history.
Well, I tell you what, go to France where they had a conference, an Islamic conference recently where 2 women broke into it. Do you know the one I mean?
Yes, I do.
Into it bare-breasted.
Yes, I do.
They were screamed at whores, stoned them, they were assaulted on stage.
Yes.
In your mosques, the women and men are kept separate.
Yes.
If I can before marriage.
Right, if I can just ask you this, yes. If the men and women are kept separate, what's wrong?
Because they're equal to us.
Now, look, I'm sorry, what was your name,
When I
sir?
get on a train or when I go to work, there's women.
Sorry, what was your name?
My name's Richard.
Richard, I'm sorry. You see, Richard, you are confusing 2 issues respectfully. I asked you a question. Men and women being separate, what's the problem? You said, oh, we are equal.
That's right.
I'm not denying that.
Okay.
I agreed with you. We are equal. Now, the question I'm asking you again, if men and women are kept separate, what's the problem?
Because we're human beings.
Again, I'm going to ask you this.
No, wait. And I will answer that question.
Please.
For human beings have been on this world for 200,000 years. Okay, 200,000 years as we are human beings. Okay, so we evolved from bipedal primates. It's only in the last 5,000 years, around the Euphrates and around the Nile, that societies and civilization started. Okay, so for 195,000 years we were hunter-gatherers and we worked together, and we were social animals. We lived together. The women did their thing. The men hunted. The women picked berries. They all lived together. They worked together. We lived in the same houses. All the families slept together. So for 195,000 years, that's how we were. We're social animals, all mixed. Now, only in the last 1,500 years have you said, you lot go over there and we'll all go over there. That is wrong.
Why?
Because of what I just said. Because we're
okay, let's assess what you said.
Also,
no, you are jumping too much, respectfully.
Think that women are separate species.
Right, again, speculative. Let's deal with the facts as you want them.
You asked me, I told you.
Yeah, let's deal with the facts as we want them. You said for 5,000 odd years, yes? You made some sweeping statements about we evolved from primates, etc.
No, that's scientific.
Yes?
That's scientific facts.
Well, like I said, that is what you say.
No,
okay?
scientific facts. We have the DNA.
Well,
and
respectfully,
we have all the fossil record.
Respectfully, we can go to that if you want, but at this point in time, let's deal with one subject matter.
Our spine where our tail used to come off.
Well, we can discuss that if you want, but let's deal with one issue at a time. So let's go with this. Yes, if the women and men are kept separate, I'm still asking you again, what's the problem? You are saying, well, look at the history. So I will address.
It's unnatural.
Respectfully.
We are human beings.
Yeah.
And we all mix together.
Again,
it's unnatural.
Right.
That's what's wrong with it.
Okay, excellent. Let's see this. But you see, what you need to do respectfully is also listen to what is being said to you.
I am.
So you are not. I will ask you again. What is wrong with men and women being separate? You referred to history that we were social animals, we were X, Y, and Z.
Well, why is that not a reason?
There we go, if I can just finish.
Why is that not a reason that it's bad?
No, I didn't say that. I'm merely referring to what you had established as the reason for why you are...
Sorry, am I missing something?
You are, and I'm trying to explain to you what it is. Yeah? You see, at the end of the day, if you make a statement and you make a claim after that statement, it is only fair that you produce that evidence. Now I asked you if I can.
I can produce the evidence.
If I can.
There's two museums down there, the natural science and natural history. I can take you.
No, we are talking about men and women. We are not talking about paleontology. Okay? I'm asking you again, and you still haven't given me a reasonable answer to this. Again, I will ask you. If men and women are kept separate. Now here is an odd thing. On a literal level, if I were on a literal level, if I were to ask you, the very fact that we call men men and women women
Yes.
is showing a difference. Do you agree?
Of course there is, yeah.
Okay. Anatomically, are we different? Psychologically, are we different?
In part.
What do you mean in part?
Well, we all think the same. We have the same dreams, the same fears, the same. But yes, obviously.
So where psychologically are we different?
Obviously, their hormones and thoughts are different to ours.
So are we different?
Yeah, of course we are.
But we are equal.
Yes, absolutely.
Our responsibilities, are they all equal?
Responsibilities.
Yes. Well, logic. If I'm only following your reasoning
It's a
here.
very expansive question.
Is it?
It's a very hard one to pin down.
Why?
It's our responsibility. Well, I don't know. When you go back to being hunter-gatherers, the responsibility of the man was to go out and bring in the meat, defend the women. The women's job was to nurture the children, pick berries, and yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question on this since you've referred to it again.
So our responsibility is
Yeah.
very different, yes.
Right, since you referred to it again, I'm going to ask you, what absolute definitive evidence do we possess about this hunter-gatherer idea that you have right now? If I can just finish. Yes, if I can just finish.
Thousands of evidence. Unbelievable amounts of evidence. But carry on.
That's quite generalized. Give me one piece of evidence.
What, that we were hunter-gatherers?
No, I didn't say that. When we were hunter-gatherers, because you referred to it second time. If I can just finish. Yeah, hunter-gatherers, you just said, oh, it was clearly defined. The men went out hunting, the women did X, the children X, Y, and Z.
Cave paintings.
If I can just...
We have skeletons,
If
cave
I-
paintings, we have rubbish tips, and rubbish tips are really good ways of working out.
Okay, if I can just follow through. Yes? Now, according to your reasoning, yes, was that the natural way?
Yeah.
What was that? The women doing separate jobs, the men
That's
doing
right,
separate
absolutely.
jobs?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the problem today?
There's no problem with that at all.
Okay, so can women be separate and men be separate?
Yeah, but we
Sorry, did you just say yes?
Yeah, but we now live in society.
No, I didn't ask you that. Did you just say yes, men and women can be separate?
Yes.
What's the problem?
What, with them being separate? No.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with them being separate.
Thank you.
Wait,
That's it.
wait. But there's a problem with them being kept separate.
Ah, okay.
That's the problem. You're
Definitely.
keeping them separate.
Ah, excellent. Now you've
You're
come to
saying
it.
to them, go over there.
One
What
second.
happens if one of them says, no, I'm coming over here? What's going to happen?
Right, 1 second.
What's going to happen?
I know you are concerned about them, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Right, okay, well, let's
Because
deal
I
with
have
it.
evidence, because I've lived in East London all my life, and I have seen some pretty awful things happen.
Respectfully, when you talk about pretty awful things happening,
Yes.
okay, you go into
Including violence.
if you go into the legal system, you will find it is right across the board. But having said that, I'm going to ask you a simple question now.
Sharia law.
If we'll go to that if you want. But you see, you are jumping from one to another without establishing one point first. Now, you did agree with me, women and men being kept separate. There's nothing wrong inherently.
Said there
However,
is being kept separate. Yes,
However,
there is.
being forced to be kept separate is wrong.
Is wrong,
Do you agree?
Yes.
Forced.
Yes.
Where does Islam say you force people to be separate?
I don't know.
So how are you making this claim?
Because from my own evidence.
Oh, so your subjective assessment.
From growing up within your
Right.
communities.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this then.
From growing up within your communities, and my partner, my wife, is I'm not going to tell you what she does, but she works in a school, and it is a predominantly Islamic school.
And? And?
That's where I get my evidence.
Right, okay, I'm going to ask you a very simple question, sir. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name again. I've forgotten your name. Richard.
Yeah.
Trust me, I can confidently assess one thing here, okay? If the law says going through red is illegal,
Yeah.
yes? I go through red
Yeah.
and you see me do that,
Yeah.
and you come to me and tell me, Shabir, you've gone through red, it's illegal.
Yeah.
And I said to you, well, actually, I've lived in Moss Side, Manchester, and I'm not denigrating that area, I'm just using it as an example.
Well, actually, it's
Yes,
better than- it's a lot
if I can
better
just
than-
finish, yeah? Moss Side, I've lived there with the community, and everybody go through red light.
But that's wrong.
No, I'm asking you.
But
Well,
that's
if
wrong.
I can just finish, Richard.
Yeah, no,
and
I
they all
know the point you're getting.
they all go through. Now, is the fault the law or the people who are not obeying the law the way it ought to be obeyed?
Yes, people are not obeying the law.
So when you are making a comparison between the Muslims who you come across, and when I've asked you what does Islam say about it, you are not aware.
I do not know.
Well,
I will admit that.
right, if that is the case, you have judged Islam on the practice of the Muslim, correct?
I have judged Islam from what I have observed, yes.
It is,
My own
isn't
evidence,
it?
yeah.
Now, logically speaking, and you seem an intelligent individual, sir, doesn't logic dictate to you that if you want to condemn the legal system for the red light,
Yeah.
you should look at the legal system first?
No, you should condemn the people breaking the law.
But you should know the law first before you
Absolutely,
can.
yeah.
So if you don't know about Islam, how have you condemned us?
You're playing a word game. That's just a
It means
word
you don't
game.
have an answer.
Well, I'm not, because I don't know your laws within Islam, doesn't
You don't know
that-
Islam, I said.
Sorry?
I said you don't know Islam, and in particular to this particular issue you are dealing with.
Okay.
Now you see, Richard, the problem
I
here
will
is
give you
this.
an observation, and I will say it again.
Before you do that,
Where are the women?
there you
Where are your wives and girlfriends?
there you go again.
And daughters.
That's not the point, though. The point here is this, Richard.
They're all in groups on their own.
You see, Richard, again, despite the facts being discussed with you, despite the fact that you agreeing with the facts as they are, you are still resorting to the same simplistic idea you came with in the first instance. Where are the women? I just made a distinction to which you rightfully agreed reasonably that if Islam doesn't say it and you look at the Muslim, are you judging Islam by the Muslims? You said yes. That is illogical.
Can I ask you a question about the Quran then? Does the Quran say?
Now that's not a
man-
question.
No,
That's not a
I'm
question.
asking
You need to refer to the Quran if you are going to speak about it and tell me what you disagree with.
No, that's what I was going to
Can
ask you a question.
brother, can I have a Quran, please?
I'll tell you what, if you've got an English one, I will buy one off you and I will read it.
No, I'll give you a present. Now that is brilliant. You rightfully said it. Here,
I
Richard,
have read the Torah.
Richard, here is a present from me to you.
Right, that is very, very kind of you.
Not a
And I
problem
will
at
get
all,
you a
Richard.
present
Now,
in a minute.
here, no problem. But I'll tell you what you need to do now.
No,
And
please,
I'm more
I
than,
will.
of course you will. You read it,
Yeah.
and I've put this across to many friends that
I
I've
promise
spoken to,
you I will.
Richard. You read it, and you come back to me with criticisms. I'm more than willing to discuss it on an evidential basis, no problem.
Can I-
However, you can ask general questions, no problem.
Can I make a deal with you though?
Go ahead.
I will read this, and I promise you I will.
Yes,
If I get you a book and I give you a gift and you read it.
definitely.
Definitely?
Definitely.
I promise you I will be back within the next hour with a book.
No
For you to
problem.
read.
You've got a deal.
Okay?
Nice meeting you,
Carry
Richard.
on, and I'm going to have a beer.
Yeah?
Please give him a card.
Mike, thank you. Oh, there you are.
And I'm going around a corner to a gay bar to have a beer. And the reason
No
I go to a
problem
gay
at
bar
all.
is because you never get any trouble.
You don't need to justify yourself. By all means, Richard, bring that book back. I will read it. You read that, and then we'll meet up again.
Absolutely.
A pleasure speaking to you. No problem. Look after yourself,
It was nice
Richard.
to meet all of you.
Likewise.